Welcome, Madridistas! How's everyone? Now we have the missing piece, and he's one of the World Cup's best, scoring a Maradona-like goal in the third place match. Playing in his natural position, of course, and I think Bonillo should put him there because obviously there are already too many of them. We've already talked about the 4 attacking players in the last video, and who's going to support them. In the background, in the picture, the other great player of the World Cup, maybe the best one. What happened is that the semi-final against Spain hurt him and his teammates a bit. But hey, Golden Boot, top scorer in World Cup history. With 10 or 11, how many did he end up scoring in this World Cup? And top scorer, of course, that's why, the one who shined the most in that area. And in a normal world, with all those guys up front, you should be scoring goals left and right? But we're back to the same thing. The midfield is important. We're going to talk about this in this video too, because there are people who might think, and even I would say yes, if Barça can do it and the kid regrets it and knocks on our door again, well, no. But now I'm going to explain it a little more in depth. Before that, about Jude Bellingham, his first words today after training. Well, before and after training with Real Madrid. It really reminds me of those videos where it's like, hi, I'm so-and-so, and this is my first drink, right? Like those people who go to weddings and do that, and once they are 20 drinks in, you should see them by the end, right? Almost throwing up and everything. That's not the case here, and I don't think the holidays and the heat made him feel nauseous at the end of training, but you could see the kid was struggling, which is normal.
Hi everyone, this is me before our first training session. This is me after my first session.
It's really hot in Madrid. Well, Bellingham is the last one to join. I think we don't have anyone else left. Obviously, if it was today, he wouldn't have met his teammates who are already in A Coruña. Madrid is already there. I think we also have some photos and videos about Real Madrid's trip. And look, there's a reception here for the players. We're at the hotel with the fans. There is Mu at his first training session. The training kit for good old Mr. Jose. We talked a little about his documentary yesterday. I still haven't seen it. Damn, I've gotten overwhelmed with things. Tonight, after the Real Madrid match and the Eclipse will be on. I might not stream live, but maybe a video or live stream, let's see. I'll be out too, since I'm going to watch the Eclipse to, well, I'll say it, Guadalajara, where I was born, over there, and not in Madrid, only in the north of Madrid, yes. But in Guadalajara, the path of totality, 100%, a whole minute there of a magical Eclipse moment. Because whoever sees it at 99% will be left wanting a bit more. Be careful in A Coruña, I think it's also 100%. They'll catch it during warm-ups or training, though I saw there would be clouds there. I mean, that's not their case, since they have to be there. But for those preparing to watch it somewhere special, who end up with sunset clouds, it will be tough. Well, there was also a reception at the City Hall of La Coruña for Real Madrid, and that's it. The Teresa Herrera Trophy, which was a summer classic many years ago, a lot of years ago now. Hey, from those pre-seasons when Madrid played the Carranza, the Teresa Herrera and all those tournaments, well, the Santiago Bernabeu, which hasn't been staged for a while now, and those were the pre-seasons. Well, from our childhood, then the tours came, all of that ended, but since this year, the end of the World Cup was so close. With the start of the new season, there are clubs that have done some small tours, but Real Madrid hasn't. And I think this is going to be very good for us for the rest of the season, really good, so that the players are more rested and in better physical shape. Because in previous years, there were tours. Last year, the Club World Cup, although, well, there have also been very good seasons with summer tours, and then things turn out fantastic. But I think that after what we experienced last season and what we've already gone through in these last two, it was really good for Madrid to have a calm preseason. Now, let's talk about Rodri. Well, there are people here doing polls like, hey, if Barça in the end, I think Barça made a final offer of 60 million and City keeps telling them no, that it has to be 80. In the end, I think they're going to reach an agreement. They're just putting on an act now because the player has already decided. And it's going to end up being 70 plus add-ons or something like that. Now, where is Barça getting the money from? Well, man, where are they getting it from? Barça has a lot of income, but honestly, they also have a lot of expenses. Of course, how they manage that, well, you can see for yourself how they've handled it. I mean, badly. Laporta just delays problems for his successor, and La Liga helps. But what happens when it's not La Liga? The federation, the higher sports council, which depends on the government and so on, they'll make it possible. They'll be able to register. Besides, they're looking to self-run. They say that if Rodri arrives, this kid Bernal will also leave, or he will go out on loan. So, well, we'll see. I think they're going to do it, but the question is, well, if in the end it doesn't happen, would Madrid go for him? Look, I know some people call me obsessed with Rodri and all that. I think that when it comes to being Rodri's widow, the first one obsessed with Rodri is Mourinho, because he knows perfectly well that the club is missing this. Mourinho, and some people inside, not everyone, obviously, because if that were the case, this signing would have already happened. I don't want to repeat that Madrid needs a defensive midfielder, because it's something so clear and so obvious that only the people who deny it, well, look, they even write to me. And honestly, I don't even read those people's messages. I get it, Miguel. Maybe someone else will come or someone mocked Madrid. I understand all that. But denying that Madrid needs a defensive midfielder and insisting otherwise, I can't accept. With Tchouaméni and with Valverde, we'll be fine. Yeah, that's worked out perfectly. They ended up hugging each other. Thinking that just adding Bernardo Silva next to Tchouaméni is enough means Valverde ends up on the bench, which could create locker room issues. It's just, be careful, it's not that simple. So I don't go off on a tangent, and to wrap up, look, this video is going to be short. I would go for Rodri again. If Barcelona can't agree with Manchester City, even though they already have a deal with the player, so that they can sign him, I would go for Rodri. But if I were Real Madrid, obviously I wouldn't, because dignity comes first, of course. Even though the need for a defensive midfielder is urgent, really urgent, of course. It would bother me a bit. I would do it a bit reluctantly, gritting my teeth, because I know I need it, but I insist. That's just how it is. It would come down to the club's dignity here, though the club should have shown some dignity too. In other things, but well, in this case, it's just very, very obvious, isn't it? Because he's a footballer who has already spoken with Real Madrid to tell them, no, I've chosen Barça. And it's not like he chose someone else or decided to stay at Manchester City. No, he said, I've chosen Barça, goodbye, that's it, logically. And someone might say to me, why not before? Why not before, since he had already disrespected us, since he was already anti-Real Madrid and all that? As far as I know, I don't consider him to be anti-Real Madrid. In fact, his brother has photos with the Madrid jersey in the trophy room at the museum and all that. His brother does, but he doesn't. Sure, he played for Atleti, but imagine if he walked into the trophy room wearing a Madrid jersey. Wouldn't that be wild? But it wasn't like he was them more anti-Madrid than Figo or even Mourinho himself, or even Courtois himself, all three of them chanting on the balconies of Barça and Atleti, mocking Real Madrid. Damn, you can't get more than that. So I don't think that chant, the one about Vinicius when he won the Ballon d'Or and all that, I don't think so. That didn't even bother me at all. I mean, I don't know, if someone felt offended by that, then they've got a problem. But hey, everyone gets offended by what they want, right? I didn't at that moment. Now, with this, yes, of course, if he comes back now and says, hey, I'm free again, buddy, no way. Dignity comes first. And that's it. That was just the message before tonight's game. See you later. Hope everything goes well for you. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel, comment, share, and have a great afternoon. And if you are going to watch the clips, be very careful. Don't do anything reckless. Honestly, Spain is really split in two here, man. I mean, between the usual shameless ones who want to cover up other things with this and so on, those on the other side, calling them conspiracy theorists, claim they're trying to deceive us with this. Hey, seriously, there's a middle ground where this doesn't happen every day. It's been over 100 years since this happened in Spain. Damn, it's something you might see once in your life. If you do it carefully, calmly, and with common sense, nothing will happen. So enjoy it, those of you who are going to do it. Me, honestly, like a little kid, I'm going to enjoy the Eclipse today in a place where it's going to look beautiful. I'll tell you about it later. Bye.